Hello, ladies. So, this past week, I was sitting and thinking, wow, the year is ending. What are some of the things that happened this year? As you know, I like to make conclusions and make my goals for the next year. So, I was sitting down making a list. I'm like, I'm going to make a video and chat with you about all the things that I have become more aware of this year. Might get chatty, might get rambly. I'll do my best to stick to my list. So I'll begin by mentioning Kalmanovsky and his psychology. I watch his podcasts weekly and I absolutely love everything that he does. It really resonates with me on multiple levels. And he said one phrase quite often, and I love reminding myself about this phrase, and here how it goes. The person is not giving you a hard time. The person is having a hard time. And I've started applying it across just all of my people. My baby's not giving me a hard time. My husband, my mom, my dad, they're not giving me a hard time. They are having a hard time. And it really gave me a crazy perspective. I see everyone as children now. And I love that part. So just wanted to mention. I will also do this small disclaimer here right away. My sanity, my ability to have more free time is 100% thanks to my husband. My husband's here 100% at a time. We parent 100%. We're here together, side by side, all day long. So I'm not alone. And my husband's an amazing father, an incredible dad, truly. So I have a few hours a day just to myself, to work on myself, to do other chores, to do other things. I just wanted to share with you that I have this blessing in my life, that we were able to structure our life, our finances in a way where we can both parent our children at the same time and we can both work from home at the same time. This year I have transitioned to motherhood of 2 children, which felt amazing. I know I mentioned it before. You know, this pregnancy and this birth was very different. I cannot explain to you how happy I am that we have another kid. I just remember myself, I even have a little video that I made for myself when I was crying in the garage, realizing I'm gonna want to have a second child, and I was paralyzed with fear that I would not be able to do that. I just could not understand, how can I do this? Here I am doing it, and it's fine. This year, I was able to see my daughter become a sister. I have watched her transform into a big sister, into watching her now resemble being a mother herself in a way I didn't see before. Yes, she used to play with dolls, and it was more like a teacher level. But now she shows care. She like breastfeeds her children, her babies. And she plays with Barbies, not just like on the friendly level, but on the mother-child level. I'm so proud of it. I am so excited about it. And I see it all the time that she has this softer new side to her, that she looks at the example of parenting not just towards her, but as an observer from the side. And she learns parenting by looking at her parents parenting her brother. I never thought about that, having this new opportunity for her to grow too. Has it been not challenging? She's been jealous a few times, but again, because they're spaced out, so like 6 years apart, it's not the same jealousy as it would be when it's a smaller years apart, I'm sure. So it's a very different experience. Did it also mean that she watched more TV? Yes. That she was forced to spend more time on herself? Yes. that she had to learn how to put herself to sleep without books some nights and without a parent helping her get tucked in. Just because some nights are harder with the baby. So me and my husband potentially have to take care of the baby, and we just don't have the capacity for her. And she understands it now. In the beginning, it was harder for her though. I've also realized that there's no formula of teaching them how to be siblings. Mila cares very little what we tell her. I constantly try to yank her, like, hey, be gentle with the baby. And, you know, as much as I tell her, not like she really hurts him, she just aggressively loves him. like when you love a kitten and you're just like, I love you so much, I'm gonna kill you. You get what I'm going with it. But now it's like she loves him so aggressively. But then I also look at him and he's laughing. He's like having a good time. And I'm like, oh, no, no, no. And he's like, haha, you know, why were we stopped? So I'm trying to learn to stay back a bit more, to just kind of guide her a little bit, like, hey, gentler, gentler, please, especially if he starts crying. But I'm realizing that these siblings are going to have their own way of learning how to have a relationship between each other. They will have their own dynamics, and marriage after 2 babies, we're trying to find a groove with Daryl. I try to do research on certain things, because if I find something that I feel like is a little bit of a hiccup in our relationship, I try researching it from my point of view. Why am I on this side? How can I get it better? Not what's wrong, but like, what are the steps that I can take to resolve the situation? What can I do better myself? And I see him doing that as well. So this way we meet in the middle and we have a wonderful relationship with Daryl, I think. Do we fight? Of course we fight, especially on the nights when we couldn't sleep, both of us, and it's intense and a lot is happening. We could really snap at each other. Mostly it's just because of how we word things and of the tone with which everything is delivered. So it's something I need to work on more. We might see a marriage counselor, I don't know. We were thinking about it, really just to clear the air, to learn how to speak to each other on a better, more effective level. Because as parents of 2, we don't have time to argue too long. We need to get to the bottom and we need to learn how to fix it quickly. We don't have time to spend hours on yelling at each other. You know, so, and we both recognize that like we can waste an hour yelling at each other, or we can kind of start figuring out how to deal with this. I've also realized that I need to be cognizant of his boundaries, especially as a parent. We don't have exactly the same parenting style, but I understand his style. I know where it's coming from, and I do my best to respect it and give him space. With Mealy, it was slightly different. It was much more picky, I'll be honest with you. But this time around, I'm doing my best to stay back or to do gentle nudges after he's done. I try to tiptoe around him when he's parenting and not to weigh on him and make him feel like he's being watched constantly and like I want to pick at him all the time. I'm working at it. Do I have more improvement to do? I do. Let's talk about generational healing, right? Being a child of parents. I'm so lucky that both my parents are alive, that they're here, that they're active, that they're able to visit me, that we talk with them every week on the phone, on the video phone calls. They love me, they love my family, they support me, and they're proud of me. Now, there were some hiccups in my early childhood where I remember were a bit too strict, were harder for me to deal with as an older person now. And I have shared with you before that I actually confronted my father about a few of them, and it was a very uncomfortable conversation, but it has opened up a different perspective. I'll come back again to the quote of Kalmanovsky that your parents are not giving you a hard time, they're having a hard time. If you are able, if you are in a place where you have more emotional resources, more emotional intelligence, and you have been working on yourself, a lot of times our parents have not been working on ourselves. Some have been, some have not been. If you're willing, if you want to, you can parent your parents. You can come back to a relationship with your parents from a point of view that they are also children. They're grown children, but they are children. You can recognize their patterns. You can recognize if you're willing. It's a lot of work. You don't have to do that. Is it the right thing to do? I don't know. Maybe in a few years I'll change my mind, but it has gave me such a light understanding of life. I have forgiven all of my parents for anything and everything because I am understanding where they came from. It has lifted my spirit. I don't have this weird anxiety about certain things. You know, I recognized my parents were very young when they had us, right, in their early 20s. They also were parented very differently. And I've told you about specifically my dad, how after I brought up that uncomfortable conversation, he opened up, he sat there quietly, he really regretted it, that he treated me, you know, with a little bit more disrespect in the moment, even though I was a child. And it was to the point where to this day, I carry that as if my label, you know. And it's a different story, but he recognized it, he apologized, and then he started thinking why he did that. And he explained to me his whole childhood. And I have never heard that story. And I have completely understood it. I looked at him as a little boy who was put in that position, and just my heart was just going out to him. And I forgave him for everything. And again, it's not like my parents truly gave me like this terrible trauma, you know, like truly traumatized me. It was just, you know, harsher on some spots. I just released the resentment. I have forgave them, and our relationship is now stronger and more of the equal level now. Not that I'm under them or I need them to approve of me. I still need that, but really not anymore. Now I'm just more like, we're adults here. We all understand each other. And I really like that because it gave me a power that I never had before. So next is my style, kind of style identity. I'm still learning about it. It's still work in progress. So I have not gotten to the top yet, but I'm happy that I'm interested in now. I have realized that styling myself does not mean I'm trying to be better than other people, that I'm trying to show off, that I'm trying to change myself, that I follow trends or anything. I actually found a lot of self-respect in choosing better clothing. So for a whole month, I was dressing myself every single day with intention. So I would put at least some kind of styling into myself, whether it was applying mascara that day, even though I didn't, maybe wasn't feeling like it, wearing a beautiful belt and earrings, choosing nice shoes versus comfortable shoe only, you know, really putting intention into what I wore. And I felt better. I felt my posture change, my confidence level going up. Even on the days that I didn't do any makeup and I just didn't feel like it at all, I would still style my hair a little bit. I would still put something on that resembled, you know, well put together person. I did effort every single day for a whole month, and I loved that. I'm toning down intensity a little bit now because I've learned things that I actually enjoyed, that actually suit me, the certain recipes for clothes that I loved. So I'm going to stick with that. I've enjoyed learning more about styling and how clothes sit on you, the different style of clothes, the coloring. I talked about that. I won't bring it too much. Again, it comes back to self-care, self-respect, and just because I'm a little bit more neater, a little bit more well put together, more curious about what I wear on the outside, I feel like it gives me a boost of confidence, and I've been really enjoying it. So I have gotten rid of things that no longer suit me, that I should leave in my 30s and 20s and move on to different styling. I want to feel grown up. I want to feel more confident in the way I dress, in the way I present myself to the world. I still have my frugal mindset, even though it seems like I'm spending money on myself back and forth and left and right. I'm investing into things. I'm not just buying junk. I'm buying staple pieces I know 100% I'm going to wear. I only keep things that I will wear. So it's more of slightly changing the outer identity, right? Just leveling up, like I said, just upgrading to the next level. And it made me feel lighter. It made me feel more confident. I already mentioned that. And it's also very interesting because while you work on inner self, the outer self stays here too, right? Then you want to change. You want to create a different dimension to yourself. Next, I wanted to talk about gut health and food. So earlier this year, I had a few rounds of antibiotics and I took a lot of painkillers because of the birthing experience and everything else. So my gut has really been hit. I actually had terrible stomach pain, especially from ibuprofen, and I knew that before my pregnancy and just before. I was taking prebiotics in vitamin form, and while those were working for me for over a year, I have made a small change, and that I started drinking goat kefir. I buy a very good quality kefir once a week. It's a bottle. It's fully organic. As you know, it's hyperallergenic as far as I know. So if you have lactose tolerance, it won't come out if you use goat products. Don't quote me on that, but it's just as far as I know. So just wanted to bring that up, and I have healed my gut with that and with fermented foods as well. So I would drink it first thing in the morning, like a shot. And again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to say that even, right? Do you understand that? It's just personal experience. It's just my wisdom. So I would take a shot of kefir every single morning, first thing in the morning. Well, before or after water, doesn't matter. Before food. And then it would be the last thing I take at night before I brush my teeth. And I felt different. It would calm down my intestines. I've discovered a lot of new vegetables, like I'm gonna look it up. Red curry. So it's a squash. I have a squash obsession. I add squashes everywhere. I eat them for dinner. I eat them in my salad now. I've only tried spaghetti squash before, so that was a great discovery, especially this red curry one, because you can eat the skin. And my mom was here. It's like a pumpkin almost, but it's a squash. My mom was here. I introduced her to her, and she was obsessed. She actually thinks if she can plant it in her garden next year. I'm thinking maybe planting it as well in my garden next year, because I loved the taste, and so simple. Just roast it with olive oil and some spices and cube it and eat it. and it's so delicious. I love that flavor. I've tried every squash after that. I have some favorites and some least favorites, but butternut squash and this one and spaghetti squash, I devour it. I love it so much. And I'll just touch base a little bit on creativity, on the work, on the channels, and a little bit kind of on community. This year, as you know, I have renamed this channel. I felt the need to work more on this channel this year, open up more, create more relationships with you guys, create a stronger community around this stage of my life. I know it resembles with a lot of you, or at least you love listening about it. Maybe you're just before this stage or just after this stage when you're just about to hit 40 or just around 40 years old. I'm sure it's been a lot for a lot of women. It's a transformational kind of a nudge into the next 10 years of your life, and especially with perimenopause and menopause coming up in the next 10 years, you want to be aware, you want to be educated. So I'm doing my best to do all the research in the world on these topics, and I'm very curious. I'm learning more about like the human body. I'm also learning more about, as a businesswoman, just to touch upon on different things. Some of my interests this year have been learning more about taxes. I'm realizing that I don't want to use the word dumb, but I don't know how else to call it. Unaware, uneducated. I don't understand taxes. Okay, can I be real? I am so confused about them oftentimes. I love my CPA, my accountant. She's amazing. She helps me understand a little bit better. But then she starts using words and I'm just like, okay, you're losing me. So I love that she helps me. She knows what I'm doing. She finds my videos wonderful, and she feels like she's, doing a part in doing the good for this world. And she's so proud of me, which is great. She's a younger woman, kind of my age, and I love her so much. Renaming my channel also, of course, is leading me in a different direction and a bit more grown up, more self-realized, more deeper conversation topics, not surface, not wishful, but grounded in reality and today, in reality of our lives right now. I love watching myself evolve through the stages, through the years, into who I am now. So this vlog has really helped me to reflect and see what parts of myself I'm ready to let go of, what parts of myself I'm excited to explore more and really zoom in and widen and broaden and make it bigger, more interesting and more fulfilled in a way, more filled. Which parts of myself I want to highlight more, to showcase myself differently in the world. And a big part of it is you guys, so thank you, because you communicate with me, you write to me all the time. One of my goals for next year is to hopefully make friends. I feel like I'm also like manifesting when I'm constantly complaining about it. I'm manifesting more complaining about it. So I'm trying to, complain, but not all the time. I know it can be quite annoying, probably. No. So I don't want to apologize for who I am, though. This is the journey that I'm going through. And this is who I am. And that's that. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for sticking around through this incredible year with me. I hope to do more videos for you next year. Thank you for your support. I know you guys wrote so much to me in the last video where I talked about the friendships. Many of you wrote me personal emails, messaged me on different platforms, and I appreciate you and I thank you so much. I'm so sorry I cannot reply. So I wanted to be real with you, say thank you. I read all of them and I love you so much for cherishing and bringing yourself up and putting yourself into this position where you were vulnerable with me as well. Thank you for your friendship. But please understand if I can't respond to you. Okay. Cheers to the new year. I hope you had a good holiday season. And bye bye.